Here's how you can plan out all of your content for social media for a whole 90 days in less than 2 hours. Yes, you heard me right. In 2 hours of just direct thought, you can actually plan out all of your social media content in just 2 hours. All you need to do is just get rid of those distractions and sit down and go through some of the things that I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to try to tell you in 5 minutes or less how to exactly go about doing this. So the first things first, is you're going to look at data. You're going to look at what worked and what didn't on all your social channels. What got views, what got comments, what got shares, what got likes, what got DMs, what got things that actually propelled your business or your personal brand forward to people. That's the kind of stuff you want to look at. So don't just double down on things that don't work. Find the things that did work. Hey, I got a bunch of great reactions to reels that were all educational. I'm going to double down and do more of those this month and the next 2 months after that. I think that's great. You need to just look at that data, look at that information, go look at those analytics and see what story can be told through all of those data and science points. Look through that, find what sticks, find what's working and double down on that. Number 2, when it comes to actually thinking about the type of content you should be creating and what you should be saying in these pieces of content, something you can do there that's going to be really helpful is go through your texts, go through your emails, go through your conversations that you're having with your current customers or with your potential customers. What are the questions that they are asking you? Hey, I don't understand about this thing. Let's say you're a realtor, for example, and you had a lot of back and forth with a client about a specific type of loan. That's probably going to be really good content for you to talk about because you're going to be helping somebody out who's just like that client that you really like. Let's say you're a loan officer, and let's say that client who asked you about these specific documents and what they mean and just get some clarification on those, it'd be probably a good idea to make some content about that as well. Let's say you're a boutique owner. Let's say you own a store that sells clothes. And let's say you had all these interactions with customers asking you questions about, oh, where do you get this from? And where do you get that? And all these different questions that you get, that's your content right there. Because you're solving problems for people who have actually been asking those questions. So when you find yourself in those situations where you're like, I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about, literally just go through your emails and texts over the last 2 weeks. You've probably solved so many problems in these last 2 weeks that you can make so much content about. And then what you're going to do is very simple. You just pull out a calendar and you literally say, I'm going to post about this on this day, this on this day, that on that day. Before I forget, actually, one thing you absolutely want to do over these 90-day quarters is set goals. What is your goal? Do you want to reach a certain amount of accounts? Do you want to reach a certain amount of people? Do you want to get X amount of engagement up? Do you want to get this many DMs? The more specific you can be with these goals, you can really map out, see what you did those 3 months prior and see, okay, if I want to double my reach, for example, on Instagram, and last quarter, it took me this many posts to get to this number, then do some math and say, okay, well, how many posts do I have to do that are more engaging, that are going to give me more eyeballs to get me from this number to that number? So you do your math. Okay, if I want to 3x my numbers, that means I'm going to have to probably double or triple my output from last quarter. So if you don't want that goal, if that's too aspirational for you, you got to lower your goals. If you want to go even higher, then you multiply that even more and say, I'm going to go hard this month in this quarter. So that's one really good way to think about it, is just look at the data, look at the information and say, what are my goals? So back to the posts. You go to your calendar and you literally put exactly what you want to post and when. You just write it out. You literally make a calendar, whether on a physical calendar or on a Google sheet or anything like that, and you make very clear what you are posting when. It's nice because it holds you accountable. And if you really can stick to it, by the end of a month, you've already posted 30, 40, 50 times and you didn't have to really think through it because you already thought through it all the month before. So when it comes to creating these plans for social media, it is so important to think about your goals, what you can actually do, what you can actually achieve on your own, and just holding yourself accountable to these goals. Because if you're committing to posting a ton on social media, there's no other way around it. Organic social media content takes a lot of energy, a lot of time. But if you give yourself a long runway, say 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it can really, really pay off for you. I hope this helped. And if you have any questions at all, you know how to reach me with an email down below.